Hi, welcome to another video. I'm Dr. Vishal and today we are going to talk about 5 mistakes that I made in my MBBS days which I think you can avoid once I explain them to you. So as soon as we enter medical college, we are given all sorts of congratulatory messages and all sorts of expectations and dreams enter your brain that you will do this once you finish your graduation, you will get this post-graduation, you will work in this capacity, that capacity, and you have a long time of 5 to 6 years to decorate all these dreams. But reality hits as soon as your college finishes.
ऐसे इसका टेस्ट बहुत खराब होता है, ये किसी ने नहीं बताया था.
Maybe your undergraduate, postgraduate, fellowship, whatever, and then you come in the real life where things don't always go as expected. And even till date, after finishing my MBBS, post-graduation, fellowship, etc., I really feel that there are certain things that I should have started to learn much earlier back in my MBBS so that I would not have to learn them in a crash course, emergency, haphazard manner as I do today. So what are those 5 things that I believe are the most important that I should have learned much earlier? First one of them is money skills. Now, as a doctor, when you are growing up in your MBBS days, medicine is taught from a purely clinical and academic standpoint. They teach you how to examine the human body, how to treat the human body, how to investigate the human body, but they never really tell you how to make a career out of it. In India, we still live under this notion where doctor is a blessing giver, godly figure who cannot charge money or whose services cannot be weighed in terms of money. However, in reality, you have to pay bills, and we all know the struggle that comes with expectation versus reality and so on and so forth. So the earlier you know what to do with the money which you have earned, the better it is for you in your real life. Some of my favorite resources for learning about money are some YouTube videos, some podcasts, and some books. As far as YouTube videos are concerned, Ankur Wariku is a very good source. Ali Abdul videos is a very good source of how to invest money, how to make money. Kunal Shah is a very good person who talks a lot about money. You will find links to all these channels in the description box. As far as podcast is concerned, Naval Ravikant is a very famous and a very well-learned philosophical wisdomy guy who can teach you a lot about money, and not just money but the whole idea of wealth generation and the whole value concept of money. Speaking of value concept of money, there's a book which comes to my mind which is Psychology of Money, which again is an in-depth book about the whole idea of money and what people think about money. That is why Psychology of Money. It is not a book which will give you cheap tips and tricks to make some money here, some money there. It will give you a high level view of what money is so that you can understand how to shape your career in a way that you can command money and respect. The second mistake that I did was not writing enough research papers. Now, honestly, in my personal opinion, writing research papers is a very boring exercise. That is because I did not really know the importance of it. I did write a few handful of research papers in a couple of journals, but only later I realized the importance of writing good research papers and publishing them in good journals. It adds to your CV, it adds to your whole academic persona. The ability to read and write research papers opens up various more opportunities in India and abroad. Especially good institutes and good fellowships require students who have enough publications, good and reputed publications. People also take you more seriously than some other pushover student who has maybe none or very casual publications. So writing research papers is a skill that I would want you to learn. Don't do the same mistake which I did in my MBBS days, and try to understand how to navigate your way through reading research papers and publishing research papers. I have made a similar video on the topic. You will find it on the channel or in the description box in the link. One interesting fact is that these days research papers can also become fodder for a lot of infotainment articles or videos, which in itself can become your hobby as far as scientific writing is concerned, or maybe you making YouTube videos is concerned, and can also become a source of passive income. So if the pure academic motivation of writing research papers and understanding new articles and staying up to date is not appealing enough, then maybe using the whole skill as a way of making some extra money can appeal you in a better way. All in all, in a nutshell, learn to write research papers. The third mistake that I did in my MBBS days was to not really plan my PG and not really know the whole landscape or the scope of MBBS degree or any other medical graduate degree that you must be doing. A lot of my friends and a lot of other colleagues that I have met had a very clear understanding from early on where they want to land up and do their practice, and accordingly they chose their branch, and then they could save a lot of struggle which comes in the early years of setting up your practice. So if you're somebody who is in MBBS and has just one dream, do or die, make it or break it situation, then I would advise you to keep your options open and ask yourself what would be better for you in the long run. Is following your dream the most appealing, the most profitable, the most logical option, or choosing some other branch which fits better in the context of where you want to practice a better option? And many a times these both answers might be different, but it is better to have a clear understanding of both of these options and then choosing wisely. Would you want to choose your dream branch and then figure out your life and career around it? Or would you want to first figure out where are you going to live and what is the most suitable branch for that place and time, and then you would like to plan your post-graduation? So this is one point that I want to make. As early as you figure it out, the better off you would be in your whole medical education career. So the fourth mistake that I did in my MBBS was to lose sight of my hobbies. Now, as soon as you enter medical college, you are overwhelmed with the syllabus and the exam structure and the clinical rounds, this and that, and it can be quite overwhelming and stressful in the beginning. But one thing you have to realize is that along with all the stress, you have ample time, 5.5, 6 years to finish all your studies and all your clinical rounds and rotations, even prepare for your post-graduation entrance exam. Which means that losing sight of your hobbies, in my personal opinion, is not really necessary. Now, why are hobbies so important? Because hobbies give you an escape. They are a stress-busting outlet for you, which is also not harmful. Now, there can be some harmful ways of de-stressing as well that we all know about. However, hobbies can be a good, acceptable, profitable, useful replacement of those harmful activities. Another thing that hobbies allow you to do is to acquire a lot of skills. And trust me, in real life, as soon as you get your degree and qualification, very soon you will realize that just having degree or qualification is not equal to having a career. Nobody is going to come looking for you just because you have the fanciest degree from the fanciest college. In order to make a career out of your degree, you need to have many more skills, and a combination of all those skills will make you a person who is highly valuable and cannot be replaced easily. And hobbies are those skills which eventually come to your rescue in your professional life as well. You may have a hobby of just being meticulous. You might be somebody who just is insanely meticulous or wants to clear up the room all the time. This hobby can also make you a better organized person, and somebody might like you, some prospective employer might like you just because you are so meticulous and organized all the time. Somebody might have a hobby of dancing, painting, photography, making videos, which can eventually turn into a passive income thing, or maybe something which just keeps you occupied, keeps you up to date with the current scenario, makes you more popular, gets you a personal brand, and eventually gets you more patient. Hobbies also allow us to make friends from a diverse background. You can be friends with your seniors, with your juniors. You can have a lot of non-medical friends based on the communities which are there for a particular hobby. You could be popular among the cycling group, the badminton group, and that can eventually become a network that you can fall back on, which can really get you the new job, maybe the references that you wanted, the letter of recommendation you wanted, or maybe the good word that you thought somebody might put. So hobbies give you a whole set of tools and skills which can come in really handy when tackling real life situations. The last most important mistake that I did in my MBBS was to shy away from teaching. Now, there are some of my friends who would really gladly take up the opportunity of teaching their juniors, or maybe giving presentations, or maybe going for conferences. I was the one who was really not so voluntary, but if pushed into, then I would accept it and somehow scrape it through. But I wish that I would have inculcated the skills of educating or teaching someone early on. So these days, teaching is not just a casual activity. In fact, it can be a very lucrative activity. These days, there are a lot of online platforms where you can teach. You have medias like YouTube and other forms of video teaching platforms. Skillshare is a very good platform. A link for 1 month free subscription in the description box. So basically, learning to teach somebody can be a very good skill to acquire as early as possible, specifically in your MBBS days, and it can come in really handy in the long run. As a teacher, you are more valued than just as a doctor or as a student, and you become more irreplaceable. If you can teach, you can provide value to other people and get money, importance, and fame in exchange. So don't shy away from teaching. Any opportunity which you get to present cases in front of your friends, senior, junior, online, video making, writing, in whichever format, if you can teach somebody, always grab the opportunity of teaching. One of my professors, I remember, used to say that teaching is twice learning. And this is something that I've experienced firsthand, that wherever you want to teach something, you read it thoroughly, you understand it, only then you are able to teach it. So if nothing else, then at least for your own understanding, you should take up the activity of teaching seriously. So this was a roundup of 5 or so mistakes that I made in my MBBS. I hope you don't make these mistakes. I wish that you make new mistakes from which even I can also learn. Let me know what are your thoughts about this video, other videos that you see on the channel. If there's anything else you would like me to speak about, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends, and I will see you very soon in another video.